Hello and welcome.
It's very official.
Well, I'd like to be official. That's, when people listen to this and there's an opening, a good professional opening, they'll think, well, there must be something in this. And then they'll listen and realize there isn't.
Hang on, he got me with that hello and welcome.
Well, hello and welcome. He had me, and then it was all downhill.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. But the coronavirus lockdown. What year is this? I've lost touch.
I've given up counting.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I don't know.
Who am I?
I have no idea
who
I am.
Existential opening.
It's been a very strange few months now, and I've been trying to stay busy and not go crazy and not commit crime.
That's good.
And not murder anybody. It's so far so good.
I could never see you committing crime or murder. It's too much work.
No, yeah. Look, I'm happy.
I could see you planning to do it, and then you'd be exhausted. I'm having a nap.
Look, I'm happy to commit murder as long as it's after midday.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get up too early, doing hacking with this stuff and. No.
But then it might be raining. And you're like, I'm just gonna have a nap.
Forget it. Yeah, it's gonna be messy and have to make a getaway plan. It's just a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. I was thinking about that the other day. Like when someone commits a murder, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
So much to it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of work.
Like,
you got to really want to do it.
Yeah, but it's like with CCTV footage. I remember in the old days, someone could just go,
kill someone,
shoot someone, put them in the boot of the car, take them out into the field.
Yes.
But now with CCTV, you can't get away with nothing.
Oh yeah, the good old days when you can hack a whole family to death and then have lunch and no one will even know.
No one would know.
No one would suspect because there's no footage of you doing that. And you say, me? That's not blood, that's paint. I'm an artist.
I've got an alibi.
And here she is.
Yes.
I'm his alibi. There you go. Off you go, you little bugger. I'll tell you what I've been doing is I've been doing a lot of home renovation.
Wow.
Yeah, renovation.
And has this been to the benefit of the house or to the detriment?
It's been to my benefit because it keeps me sane.
Yes, keeps you busy.
But it's been to the house is now gone, I think. There's not much left of the house.
What does your wife Kate think of this?
She just leaves the house.
Right.
Doesn't come back.
Is this noisy renovations that you're doing? Like, is it?
Look, we live in my late father-in-law's house, and my late father-in-law was a carpenter and a builder.
Yeah, he built a canoe, a boat. He's very good with his hands.
Very good with his hands. Yeah, he's wandering hands. They called him Wandering Hands Brian. No, he was exceptional, and so he's got this shed full of these incredible tools.
Right.
And some of the tools I have no idea what they actually do. Like a router. I don't know. What's a router?
That's used for cutting out a groove in wood, right?
Well, yes. Now, but you're not there to tell me that.
Right. So you're just picking these things up and going, yeah, that should do.
I'll have a go on that and see what that does.
Yeah.
There's a compressor, and I've ruined the compressor because this is what I've done. I got one of his sanders. He's got about 50,000 sanders of all different types, different shapes. I got a sander and I sanded a lot of these wooden stairs. They didn't need sanding, but I thought, I've got a lot of time. Might as well sand.
And were they already like lacquered and coated?
Not anymore.
Right.
They were lacquered, but I sanded it and there was all these dust everywhere. And this looked like a very expensive sander was covered in sawdust. And so how do I clean it? I can't put it under a tap because it's an electrical item.
Sure.
I know that much.
Okay,
I'm not an idiot.
I'm glad.
Yeah. And so I thought I found the compressor which blows air.
Yeah, air compressor. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I Googled it and it said just turn it on and it'll blow air. And so I thought I'll just use the compressor to clean the sander.
Okay.
But I turned it on and I don't know what I did wrong. I needed oil or something. It just went and it now doesn't work at all. It doesn't work at all. But no one knows this yet. No one knows this.
But who's going to be using the compressor?
Well, the thing is we're in the house temporarily. As you know, it's not our house. We're just there for now. And Brian, my father-in-law, left the shed with all its contents to my brother-in-law.
Well, that's something that he's going to figure out, right?
Well, yeah, he's going to get a nice surprise.
Hopefully he doesn't listen to this and he won't know.
He won't listen to this. And so, yeah, I ruined the career. And then I started painting he's got this like rumpus room, which is gigantic. And you've been there?
Yeah.
Did you go downstairs?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I painted all that. Looks like shit. Looks awful.
I thought that you were going for that. You're using the red tones.
No, I was trying to make it like the pyramids, the same color, sandstone.
Egyptian. Yeah. Like a tomb.
Oh yeah, well, it's more like a tomb now, but more of a modern tomb.
Right.
It's got the smell of a tomb, and then Kate didn't like the color and said it's overwhelming.
Right. So what was it, like a sandstone finish?
Yeah, I thought it was nice. It was like a sandstone thing, and it looked nice.
And what was the texture of it? Was it like sandstone texture, so it looked real, or like?
Well, as real as it's a paint. It's paint.
It was like a beige,
but not beige. It's more like. What can I say? Like, have you seen sandstone?
Yeah.
Well, it's that color.
Yeah, beige.
Beige color. Mm-hmm. Exactly. There was this box there that I don't know what it was doing there, right? So I thought, we don't need this box. It's stupid. It's badly built. I took...
This was down in the basement.
Yeah, this is in the rumpus room.
Right.
And I smashed it with a sledgehammer.
The box?
Yeah.
Did you look inside the box?
No, there was no way to look inside. It was closed in.
But did you not think that the box could be there for a reason? Like, if you couldn't move the box, it was there?
No, it was stuck to the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, I smashed it. And you're right, it was holding up this heating system that's from the 1800s.
Sure.
Before electricity was invented, and as soon as the box went, and Kate, my wife, turned the central heating on, it just blew this dirt right in my face, and then it stopped working. So I've ruined two things now. Yeah, no, I'm going well. I'm going really well. So this should be a show. This should be like,
what not to do it.
The block for fuckwits. Fuckwit block.
Akmal does his block.
That's right. Yeah.
So, but I just don't get it. Like, if you see a box, like, that could be like a power box. It could be like, because usually they're attached to a building or
yeah, well, I mean,
it could have been like the heater box, or
hindsight's a wonderful thing. Hindsight's great.
But the fact that your first thought is, I'm going to get a sledgehammer and smash this box.
Yes.
It's clearly there for a reason.
It's not there now. I know that, and I know the reason, but the box is gone. The box is gone.
You're perfect for,
and my dignity is gone.
For builders, you're perfect for the first part, like the demolition part.
I love
sledgehammer just let you go to town.
That's so true, Joel. My first job was demolishing a house. I told you this. No, I got It was my first job. I was 17, and this guy goes, "You like smashing shit?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You got a sledgehammer?" I said, "No." He goes, "Well, I've got one. Come and smash." I'm not even sure if
meant to be doing that.
I'm not sure if it was his house, but I smashed the hell out of it. It was really good. It was fun.
It's therapeutic.
It is very therapeutic, actually. But so that's how I'm spending my time. What about you? I'm imagining you're having a different time of it.
Yeah, I've been doing this fitness program, T25.
Oh yeah.
Been doing that every morning with my fiance Erica. We get up and
is that what you call it? Yeah. Right? Bit of push-ups, bit of chin-ups, a bit of
planking.
Bit of planking. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. So that's what we've been doing every morning.
I see.
And trying to keep in, because I've been eating a lot of junk food. I don't normally eat junk food.
I know you don't. No, you're Captain Sensible.
Yes, but
I'm silly Saleh.
But I've been. I went to Hague's Chocolate. And
they
had all the Easter stuff, like the Easter bilby, this big bilby that's usually like $60. I got it for like $15.
Oh, I can't pass that up.
Can't turn down chocolate bilby.
You got to eat it, yeah.
And so I brought that back home.
The taste of bargain.
Yes,
taste of a bargain.
And it's good quality chocolate. But
of course it is.
But I got to start working out here. We got to get, and the gyms are all closed. So there's this program T25 that my friend Steve Byrne.
Steve Byrne,
He put me onto it. So he's been doing it in California, and we've been doing it in Sydney.
Steve Byrne the fat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you. I just thought of that. Just came to me. I thought, should I throw it out there?
And you did.
And I did. Steve Byrne's fat.
And so we've been doing that each day, and then we send videos backwards and forwards to sort of motivate ourselves. And as a result of that, I think I'm losing a lot of weight.
Yeah, you look like a good-looking, sort of impoverished African child.
Oh, wow.
But good looking with a full head of hair.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I've always gone for that impoverished child.
Handsome, impoverished children.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, actually, I said to my friend Michael, because he said, God, you're so skinny. I said, no, I got some weight. And I pushed my thing out. He goes, no, that's called malnutrition.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
Oh, jeez. It was like, I couldn't put a foot right.
Don't put a foot. Yeah, no. That's no. But you've always been into fitness and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's very admirable.
Mm-hmm.
But you should come and help me paint.
Yeah, that would be,
Instead,
yeah, but that's good exercise in itself.
Yes,
you
it
know?
is. It's an
And
exercise.
It's therapeutic too.
It's an exercise in futility and destruction, and expense. It's going to cost a lot of money to fix it, but at least as I said in the beginning, at least I haven't killed people yet.
That is a positive. That
Yes,
is a
yes.
positive.
But also, it's a strange time. But schools, you notice you call me a conspiracy theorist, right? But I sometimes I have good grounds for being a conspiracy theorist. Like everyone else, no one is allowed to go to work, but kids are allowed to go to school, right? Kids are back in school
Sure.
from this Monday in New South Wales.
Sure.
And they're saying that any kid who doesn't go to school, they're going to fine the parents now.
Really?
Yeah, that's fascism.
Yeah.
That's sus, isn't that
Look,
sus?
Yeah, look, I agree with you, Saleh, that, there's all these conspiracy theories, and you
Yes.
send me videos all the time to watch.
Which you don't watch.
Well-
I know you don't, because you got a girlfriend and you got better things to do, and the T20 and your friend Steve Burns who you connect with, and I'm sure you look at his stuff that he sends you, but my stuff gets rejected.
You sent me an hour thing of this guy.
3 hours of David Icke, which you did
Yeah,
not
3
watch.
3 hours. It's like that's a lot to get through, to listen to lizard people.
3
and-
hours of your life, which will alter your perspective forever.
I've listened to David Icke stuff. You've sent me stuff years ago on David Icke.
Yeah,
I
which you have.
listened to-
Man, the stuff you haven't watched must be piling up now. You should spend a year and just watch all the stuff I've sent
I've
you.
been watching Sopranos. I've been
Oh,
making my way through that
Sopranos.
series.
You know that's fiction.
Well, yes.
David Icke is not fiction.
Really?
No, it's not.
Well, here's the thing. You sent me a thing of the Dr. Rashid Butter.
Buttar, not butter.
What's
Rashid Butter.
spelled Butter.
I can't believe it's not Buttar.
And I started watching the first few minutes of it, and nothing was going on. He's just there looking at the camera, and then he goes and he looks at something down there, and you see the top of his head.
You couldn't
and he
get
looks
past
back
that.
up. I'm
You
like,
didn't have the
oh.
patience to sit past that. He's trying to get it right.
Get
He's-
what right?
He's trying to get the technology right. He's an old man.
Well, edit it, like cut it. Like
He doesn't have time. It's the end of the world. He doesn't have to. There's a certain urgency about this, right? Now, look, I don't. I know you've criticized me, and other people
I'm
have
not criticizing. I'm just
yes, you
questioning,
did.
Saleh.
And
I'm
other people have
questioning.
criticized me.
What other people?
Other people who are non-conspiratorially.
I'm not saying
inclined.
I'm not I'm just saying. Go on. Anyway,
What
I
I'm
want
saying-
to hear what he has to
Do
say.
you
and then I
really?
can
Yes, I know
reply.
you're rational and sensible and everything, but and you do T20 and you know
T25.
T25. Well, it's gone up already.
Yeah, well,
Wow,
fine.
it's it's inflation. But is it really that inconceivable that very, very, very powerful people that you'd never heard of who own media, who own the banking system, who control the world, the masters of the world, meet in certain places and decide the fate of the world? And they decide, well, the population is getting out of control. We have to cull the population. You think that's beyond
Look,
the realms of possibility?
I go to the point of saying yes. I think there are powers that be that are beyond our knowledge, and that there are the puppeteers, the string pullers.
Yes.
I agree up until that point.
Then we agree.
Yes. However,
There's always a however.
then to attach
Here we go.
any idea to that.
No,
then.
no, no,
And so I that's where I think with a lot of conspiracy theories, they get to a certain point, but then go off. Like the whole thing about 5G.
Yeah,
There's-
no.
there's
5Gs, there is no proof.
There is no proof
But
of
but
that.
people get confused.
But then there's this lady that was on the Plandemic. Did you see that? Did you see that one?
No, I missed that
interview.
one. No.
And she seemed very convincing.
The Indian woman.
No.
Oh yeah.
This is a different one. She was put in jail, and she basically came forward with her theories that this
She was
was
put in
created-
jail for having an opinion.
No. She's put in jail because of she stole some results
different
from a
thing.
lab. This is way back when.
Stealing is you go to jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
and she and they're interviewing this lady, and she's got a whole thing about how Dr. Fauci is
bought by the pharmaceutical.
Yeah, and is behind all of this. But there's no like. You step away from that and go, well, she sounds convincing, but I'm going to do a bit of research. I'm not just going to take her at her word.
Yes, good, very smart.
And I go online, I'm looking at, like, there's like 99% of the scientists and doctors don't agree with the information that she's putting out
99%, you've talked to all the doctors in the world?
I haven't, but looking
But
no, I haven't.
But where's that source coming from? You have to understand, right?
I've gone to numerous sources.
Numerous sources.
And there was one...
Murdoch Press?
No Murdoch Press. No Murdoch Press. And I've done research online, and I don't have all the answers, but I'm saying a lot of the information that I found out discredits a lot of the claims that she makes.
Well, of course there's going to be discredits.
And keep in mind now, you go, well, what's everyone's agenda behind this?
Yes.
She now has the #1 selling book on Amazon.
Yes.
So you find out that people are publicizing a book.
But just because they're making money doesn't mean the content of that book.
No, but there's a lot of people that are out, doctors and scientists that are out there that are doing this to hopefully benefit humanity, and that come out and say, listen, I don't necessarily agree with what she's saying here. So I'm just saying, all right, what is their agenda then? What's their... And perhaps they do have a moral agenda that is not to sell books or not to hyper conspiracy theory.
Their motivation or them making money on the side or whatever is not relevant. You have to look at what they're saying and put that aside, the fact that they're making... Because you can't say that just because they're making money it means what they're saying is bullshit.
No, that's true, true. But I am listening to what she's saying, but a lot of the information...
But the information you're getting to counter that... where's their sources?
Well, but
just keep in mind that the media controls people's opinion, right? Public opinion is determined by the mainstream media, mostly, like 90% of people.
I think it's kind of slandered. Online nowadays, a lot more people are influenced by these conspiracy theories.
No, but online is very heavily edited and controlled.
Sure.
Like you look at stuff, when September 11 happened with all these conspiracy theories online, you try and find something now, and there's very little.
September 11th.
Yeah.
There's documentaries on YouTube that that are like 3 hours long that are talking about the theories of the buildings
demolition
and exploding. And
all right, well, okay, forget that point then. That's true. Yes, there's a lot of stuff on there. I take that back. If I could take back time, I wouldn't have even brought it up.
This is what I love about you, Saleh. You will fully commit, but then if you're showing something that or given a different view, you're willing to change your views.
Well, this is where my argument falls to the ground.
But you won't double down and commit and go and just start yelling, which most people do.
No. But
so I do like that about you, Saleh. And I don't have any great facts that I'm presenting. I'm just saying, look, on YouTube they have that.
No, they do. But there is a lot more censorship now than there ever has been in the past.
Sure.
People get taken.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And people get stopped from coming to Australia to give talks if they like David Icke.
Your friend
example.
David Icke.
Yeah. Have I shown you my photo of me and David?
No.
It was in Adelaide. I saw him. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yes, I showed you. Yeah.
All right. We got to find that.
Look, he may be nonsense, but you got to be open-minded. Anything is possible. Now, if someone is banned from speaking, you have to consider that maybe what he's saying is a bit scary to the powers that be.
Yeah.
He's against...
someone like Ike, like he's not like, when you're talking about banning speaking, he's not inciting violence or racial...
On the contrary.
Or discrimination. Like he's not coming from a kind
he's saying that the government...
racist or mean place. He's coming...
He's saying there are people who want to control us, and he's against vaccination. Now you might be, you have the right to disagree with him, but in a free country, supposedly free country,
yes,
he should be allowed to come in and speak, and then you can make up your own mind. But the government, people like Peter Dutton, refused him entry. And you go, you have no right to do that in a free country.
Yeah.
To stop someone from speaking, especially when they're letting in Nazis and white supremacists and to talk.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like I think that whoever wants to get up and talk should have a platform
And then
and be allowed. And then it's the responsibility of the people who are listening to make up their minds.
It's not up to Peter Dutton to decide what we should and shouldn't listen to.
Sure,
but that's the world is changing, Joel. People are becoming fascists. People who don't, if you don't send your kids to school, you get fined. That's what is that about? That's that's brainwashing, and I will fight the power unless it's too early. I mean, I can after midday, and I'm kind of busy this week. But normally I'd be in there. That's the thing when I lived in Byron Bay. All these lounge chair activists, they want to do stuff, and they go, "Oh man, we should march for Palestine or march for against global warming." Or oops, I'm too stoned.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I need a nap. Oh god.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Geez, I gotta lie down.
Yeah.
I'm greening out.
Have you spoken to your friend Frank about any of these theories of late?
Yeah.
What are his thoughts? Because bring everyone up to speed on your friend Frank.
Frank was when we moved in the area of the Northern Rivers. It's a very interesting area. A lot of crazies. Well, people who are labelled crazies. That just means they have a different opinion to the majority.
Sure.
But that's if you have a different opinion, you're called insane or a conspiracy theorist or subversive. Oh, shit, they're coming. You see?
Yeah, already.
Can you hear that?
Already.
Police. And he really introduced me to all this stuff. He used to be a barrister, and he taught law at Sydney Uni. He was a respectable, academic.
He represented Jose Ramos Horta.
That's right.
In East Timor. Yes.
And he saw the civil war, and he was very traumatized by it, and then gave up. And when he saw the media at work, like the Indonesians. My knowledge is limited, but he knows a lot about it. The Indonesians attacked, and the Australian government just let them do it.
Sure.
And so he was, getting all the Australian media, and there was nothing about it. So there was a conspiracy, and there's an example, right? There was an understanding between the media and the powers that be to keep this quiet from the majority of Australians.
And it was our old friend John Pilger that brought it to the forefront.
Well, he exposed it, but John Pilger's very, very small audience. He's not mainstream. If he starts to get too loud, they'll probably get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? If he starts to get too powerful, they'll stop him from speaking.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Yeah, but he does have a lot of John Pilger has challenged a lot of strong authority figures.
But honestly, the average person
and can still give talks.
But he can give talks to people who are like-minded. But the average person, people who love Carl Barron, sorry, Carl, I love Carl Barron, by the way. But what I'm saying is mainstream Australia don't give a fuck about John Pilger. Wouldn't even know who he was.
Carl likes John Pilger,
but Carl is an intelligent person. Yeah. I'm talking about this sounds like I'm being arrogant now. It's not an intelligence thing. It's a lack of interest, a lack of.
It's an apathy.
It's an apathy. It's a lack of wanting to question things. You just accept whatever's given to you on the news. And so John Pilger, we went to one of his talks. Yeah. He couldn't even fill the room.
Yeah.
A lot of empty seats. And the people who were there were already John Pilger fans who thought like him.
Except for that one guy. Remember up in Byron?
Yeah.
When he was and the guy wanted the interview with him, and he said, "John, you talk about all these freedoms and freedom in press and how in journalistic integrity, and I came to you yesterday at the Byron Bay Film Festival and wanted to interview you, and you said no." And he said, "Well, you have to understand the context of. I just arrived on a flight from London."
Is that Kermit or John Pilger?
Kermit's more like that. And he goes, "I just arrived from a flight from London. I was very jet lagged and had 2 interviews that I had to give that day as part of the film festival. So if you understand the circumstances, that's why I did not give an interview." And then the guy said, "Well, can I get an interview now?" And he said, "No." Next question.
Yeah.
So
arrogant prick.
but you see, with that's this is.
I'm telling you, right? If John Pilger starts to get big and mainstream, they will shut him up.
He's an
they will
award.
shut him up.
He's an award-winning journalist.
So what?
He won 4 times Journalist of the Year. His documentaries have won Emmy awards.
I'm willing to bet you.
He's pretty like.
I'll bet you $100.
Yeah.
You go somewhere in the street, random, and say, "Do you know John Pilger?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what his policies are?"
Yeah.
I'll bet you just numbers wise, you might get lucky. You know, we're in Leichhardt, it's pretty cosmopolitan, but generally, you go to Rockhampton or Mount Isa or Broken Hill.
Yeah.
No one would know who the fuck he was. Who does he play for? Did he used to play for the Broncos? You know, he doesn't have that authority.
He's not mainstream.
No.
But someone like Noam Chomsky.
But Noam Chomsky...
He's not mainstream.
Again, right? But if someone like, say, Karl Stevanovic started to have those same opinions... Out he goes.
Yep.
Where's Carl? Don't know.
Never heard of again.
But who?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, sure.
And these people.
But this backs up. But this is nothing new, Saleh.
Yeah. Well,
this is nothing.
So we were in agreement.
What did Caesar say?
Caesar,
you want to control the masses?
Said that's nice salad. Name it after me.
He said, "You want to control the masses? Give them circuses and bread."
And that's how it's always been. You know,
give them McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, give him whatever reality TV.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
The Circus Maximus is reality TV and sport, and that distracts people from wanting to question.
Sure.
You know, they go, oh man.
Have you noticed that conspiracy theories now relating COVID are a lot more prevalent in the press? Like they're saying that they're actually bringing it to light. Like
not mainstream.
Yeah,
no,
I saw ABC News. They do the whole. Yeah, they ridicule it, but they talk about it. But I think that's because people have so much time on their hands during this COVID.
Yeah.
They can go down the rabbit hole online and look at these YouTube.
But also people who do some research know that governments lie, know that governments experiment on their own people.
Of course.
Know that governments don't give a fuck about their population.
But that's nothing new.
It's nothing new.
That's nothing new.
Exactly. So why would you think it was so improbable that the people in power would go, the population, we're getting way, there are too many people in the world. It's going to...
So that's one of the main theories that are out there. Too many people in the world, overpopulated. Yeah. So they developed it in a lab in China and then released it? Or
look,
is that
I mean, there are people who claim that the virus doesn't exist. They're saying that, these people, if someone dies of a bullet through their head, they go, it's COVID-19.
Here's my theory.
Yes.
All right. I think that I don't know if the government's behind it actually releasing this, just like September 11th. I don't know if the government was behind September 11th. Mm-hmm. Now, will they take advantage of it and will they use it to their own means?
Yeah.
I've no doubt of that. And
it may not be government. There are people who are much higher than government who are they cannot be brought to account because they're too powerful and they're anonymous.
And who are these people, do you think?
Bill Gates.
You think he's one of them?
He's not anonymous. He's definitely one of them.
Hang on, I've heard of that name.
Yeah.
So so you're saying that Bill Gates is evil? That he's behind this virus?
He's not. He's a psychopath. Yeah. I think he's one of the Illuminati. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think so. He's working for them. But the people, the real...
Where did you find that out? What information?
Just, I asked him.
Yeah.
Bill,
what's
going on, mate? He goes, okay, you got me. I am.
Do you think that people like his friends William Buffett and all those are on it? Is it Buffett? Is it William Buffett?
Not William Buffett.
No, William. Who's William Buffett?
William Buffett's a different guy. He lives in Erskineville. He's a meth addict.
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. Look, who knows? But all I'm asking you, Joel, is to keep an open mind.
I have an open mind, Saleh.
Don't trust. Don't trust.
But I question I have an open mind, but I question everything.
Yeah. But just, when you say something, 95% of scientists say this. Who said this? Was it on Channel 10?
No.
Owned by Murdoch?
No. It was on Fox News.
It was Fox News. There you go.
Fox News don't give any scientific information or...
That's right.
And
look, the media, the entire Western world's media is owned by 5 families. Mm-hmm. 5 families who know each other.
I don't deny that.
Who meet and decide the fate of the world. And they decide, and they go... And it's so powerful because people trust them. Too many people trust what they say, and say, they can decide public opinion. You know, the whole thing about when I was young, the gay Mardi Gras was a protest, right? And in very, very short space of time, 2 prime ministers attended the gay Mardi Gras. That's a good thing, but how does that happen? It changes. Does it change gradually? Does society do it, or are there people behind the scenes forcing that? Like the whole.
But whether the prime minister went there or not, I don't think. I think it would have changed anyway. I think the prime ministers got on board to.
Yeah, of course.
Because public.
No,
public,
I agree.
Yeah.
But who public opinion is manipulated, right? Like have you noticed the whole thing about transgender? There's suddenly, my wife is a social worker. And she hassles me if I even seem to kind of, and I accept everybody. I'm not a
I know
prejudicing,
no.
but I'm just interested in the social phenomenon of change. Like it seems like suddenly, there are neutral toilets in schools, or all these things have just come into play. And I remember, for example, this is how things can change, and the media decides. I remember ABBA coming to. I know this seems like a big diversion, but ABBA came to Australia.
Yes.
And the girls were coming out of the limo, and it was on the news. And this is true, right? This guy runs up to one of the girls and smacks her on the ass, and then runs. Now today he'd be arrested and charged. And I think it's a even by then. It's an ugly thing to do to someone you don't know. But I remember this, and I was young, I remember thinking it was so weird because it came back to the news reporter. He was laughing with his co-presenter and saying, why wouldn't you? It's going to be the sexiest bum in town right now.
Yeah.
Right? Now, this is 25 years ago or something, or more, maybe, I don't know, 30 years ago. Within that time, and I think it's been conscious. It's consciously people say, okay, let's change people's opinion about that.
Sure.
What causes that? Maybe it's society, but I think the people in power have a lot to do with it.
Sure. I agree. I think that there is a big push for a lot of things but sometimes
and they have an agenda. They have a
but
deeper.
Sometimes it's in the right direction.
Yes.
Like going up and slapping someone on the ass, doesn't matter, man, woman, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
You're invading their.
It's probably not the best thing to do and laugh about on TV, right?
Yeah, but they did.
But they did. But yeah.
And it was accepted.
Yeah.
And no one questioned it.
I have a point if it goes too far, though. Like, I'm all for treating someone right, and I think the core of political correctness is the core of it. I'm talking about is a good thing to treat someone with a bit of respect and have a bit of empathy for who.
Yes.
But when it goes too far and becomes so ridiculous that no one can say anything without being cancelled or being crucified in the media, I think that becomes
oppressive and not helpful.
Well, how about the thing with Liam Neeson? Did you see that last year when he was promoting some film? I didn't see the film, but he it was based on the film's based on revenge, right?
Oh yeah.
And they said
like he acted as a form of revenge.
Yeah, like
I'm going to get revenge on you by staying in the industry.
Well, like a lot of his films now, like Taken and all of those. Taken 1, 2, and how something happens to someone in his family, and he
did you see Taken 2?
No.
I think the audience were taken for a ride,
taken aback,
taken here.
And I saw this interview with him, and he was being very honest in it, because the interviewer said, "Have you ever had an instance in life where you've been filled with so much rage?" And he goes, actually I have. He goes, many years ago, a good friend of mine, she was raped, and she told me about it, and it happened to be a black gentleman that did it. And he said, I was filled with so much rage that I went out on the streets and wanted to take revenge on a black person. And he said, I'm filled with shame to have ever felt that. And had gone out there on the street. Nothing happened. He didn't see anyone. He didn't attack anyone. But he just said...
So he says.
Well, he said, looking back on that, he understands that sort of that kind of rage and that sense of revenge. But he says it's deplorable that that I felt that and was in that position. But I'm looking back on that now, and I thought, wow, this is interesting that he can actually get on TV and admit to something that he feels shameful about, having felt previously in his life. He was crucified for that. People were calling for the film to be boycotted, for his career to be over. They're saying this is it.
For being honest.
And I thought, wow, this is where it's getting dangerous, where someone now can't even be honest about a shortcoming of theirs that they've previously felt, not even acted on, but previously.
It's terrible.
And so nowadays, people aren't going to talk up. They're going to hold back. They're not going to really have an honest discussion.
But you know what that does? It helps for people to be under control. They control people's thoughts. 1984 is a great novel.
A cautionary tale.
Absolutely, and that was written in the 30s, right? And it's never been more apt than now. Where it's about thought control, the thought
That's
police.
funny you say that.
And the more control they have over your thoughts, the more control they have over you as a person in the broader picture, right?
Sure.
And that's what it's about.
I once was looking at a book years ago on conspiracy theories, right?
Oh, yeah.
and it went through all the different conspiracy theories that are out there, like the chemtrails, and they would dissect it and give a percentage. That had a 2% probability out of 100. Yeah. But they said an Orwellian world and government where phones are tapped, people know the information, that your rights are
We're
taken
here,
away.
Joel. We're here. This is no longer conspiracy.
You know what the percentage out of 100 was for that?
98.
98%.
Right? Because it's no longer conspiracy.
But people don't care. I don't think people really care anymore. They're willingly giving the information away on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Yeah. They're showing photos of what they're giving into what they're into. Yeah. So it's all there for the taking now.
Yeah, but also if you have a mobile phone. I mean, in 1984, the TV films you.
Yes.
And you can't. If you turn it off, they'll know. Right? Now, you try this as an experiment with your friends, people who are watching or listening to this. If there's anyone watching or listening to this, I don't think if we turn this on, right? They know exactly what your interests are, what your search habits are online.
What your search history on Google. Sure.
So you go and search something and see what else comes up, and I'll go and search the same thing, and different things will come up based on what I've looked at.
It's funny that you say that.
That's been proven. That's not conspiracy.
Yeah. Well, when I was talking to my fiance Erica, before we got engaged.
Is that French? Fiance.
Before we got engaged.
Yes. She's very beautiful, by the way. You're very lucky.
She's a great girl. We were going through all of this, talking about wedding stuff and we're chatting about it all. Suddenly, all these things about weddings start coming up.
And you're just chatting.
Yeah.
You ain't even downloading.
Right. So on the phone, it comes up with ads about weddings, ads about
and you still don't believe me.
No. So that is weird. That is strange.
If you can accept that as a conspiracy, then you have to be open to other manipulative forces at work.
Look, I don't
to control the masses.
I don't doubt it, but I need the evidence. I'm not just going to go with someone that says, "Hey, this is what happened."
No.
Along like, "Yep, we never landed on the moon." Look, because here's a bit of information.
No,
and
I
it's like,
agree.
well, I'm going to investigate. Oh, the world's flat. There's all those.
The world's not flat.
There's all those flat.
I can tell you the world's not flat. No. I've been drunk a few times and I fell off the world. I went in the. No, you can look.
So there's some things that I'm like, all right, I'm just not willing to go along with it. But
no, you don't have to go along with it. All I'm saying is just keep an open mind.
Of course, and we're on the same page there. But I guess I'm a little more critical.
It's good to be critical. But how long have we been talking now?
We've been talking for a
long time.
This will be an interesting theory.
I hope people are interested in this.
No, but this will be an interesting theory, Saleh. If this podcast gets taken down, perhaps,
Would you then be a believer?
Or if this podcast gets minimal listeners,
Yes.
that might be a...
If men in black show up at your house and abduct your fiancée until you recant and say, I love the government, I want to get vaccinated as much as possible, and September 11 was done by Nazis, but not Nazis, sorry, Arabs.
Wow.
Saudi
Well, I'm
Arabs.
sure you could find some link. They linked Saddam Hussein up to the September 11th
There you
tank,
go.
so I'm sure that they can link the
governments-
Nazis.
People in power lie to the masses, and
Sure.
people.
Well, you just have
and-
to look at the Second Iraq War in
That's right.
2003. It's very...
And you know what? They know that the majority of people go, whatever. Yeah, they lie to you. Yeah, doesn't matter. As long as, I've got to pay the mortgage and take the kids to school and buy toilet paper. Oh, shit, they're out. Again, going to have to use
But
my
I think
hands.
it just seems a lot more blatant nowadays. Like, especially the current situation in America where there's, you look at all these news reports and it's just so much, it's havoc over there, like in the political system between the governors and the president and the mayors. They're all saying conflicting things. But I think, is that a concerted effort? Because the old theory, divide and conquer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
there's no doubt about it. It's a part of human nature. To divide and conquer is part of it's intrinsic part of being a human, right? The people in power who will always try to control the majority. And since the beginning, even before Egypt, like in Mesopotamia, they had kings, and they had the 1% who controlled 99%. 99. Thank you. Yeah. I was never good at maths. I think that was a conspiracy. They messed with my mind at school.
they changed the whole mathematical system just to spite Saleh.
I think so.
Yeah.
You got to be open to that. Anyway.
Well, it's I don't know if we solved anything today.
Well, we went-
but
Look,
we posed some questions.
That's right.
Yes.
Look, you're never going to solve anything because we're not in power. But it's good to kind of, at
good to question.
least consider, question.
Well, I think that's what we can take away from this discussion today. To keep an open mind and question everything.
I don't trust you. I think you're wearing a wire.
Well, we do have microphones, so I don't really need a wire.
Oh yeah, that's true. Wow.
It's a very elaborate way of doing it.
Yeah, wow, that's right. You didn't need to be wired up. Were you actually recording?
Oh, it's so blatant now.
Oh God, dumb mafia.
Well,
Stupid mafia. No.
Well, until next time, Saleh.
Yes, it's good to chat.
It is.
It's good
Always
have
good to
a
chat.
Yeah.